All right. So what's so exciting about yo-yos anyway? Well, they've come quite a long way since rock the baby, walk the dog around the world. Around 1985, they started putting roller bearings in the yo-yos, and that makes it spin a lot longer. And so the tricks just started evolving since then, and it just become a lot easier to use, but also just the range of tricks is open wide up. I'm known for a few tricks. One of them would be black hole, something like this. And then chainsaw. And then the meltdown. Let's see, what is it? Oh! And then Swiss Alps. And those tricks were all very cool about 10 years ago. Now they're okay. Now those are heritage tricks now, I guess. These days, someone figured out around about 2 years after I left the yo-yoing world at about 2001, 2002, that you can play with the yo-yo when it's completely unresponsive. You see that? It doesn't come back. It only comes back when I tell it to, when I do this little loop and then feed it down in there. They figured out that you can play with it that way, and that just means that while you're doing all these fancy tricks, it doesn't bite up and like smash your knuckles. So that's made it a lot easier for all these really long tricks to string together and that sort of things, and incredibly complicated combos. And so kids sit in their rooms, they make these impossible minute-long combos, and they'll take a video, put it on the internet, and then that's their way to glory. But there's still many different ways to yo-yo. There are more than one style. That was called 1A. 2A is where you just put a yo-yo on both hands, and you do two-handed tricks. These are looping tricks. So this yo-yo, it doesn't spin at the end of the string. I don't really want it to. I want it to come right back so that it does this looping trick well. There are different combos like loop the loop and shoot the moon. Ride the horse. Whoa. Milk the cow. All that great stuff. So those are two-handed tricks. There's also off-string tricks. That's a whole other style, and that's where the yo-yo is off of the string.
Way off the string.
Way off. See if I can get it back up. So you throw it off, do tricks with it, and then wind it back up. That's kind of interesting. I'm not great at this style, I just wanted to show it to you. Here's a whip catch. Just imagine with your mind what the end of that really looks like. And then freehand, this is one of my favorites. So there's a weight at the end of the string. What that means is that you can let go of it. I did practice. My goodness.
There you go.
There's something. There's names to all this stuff, but I've forgotten all of them.
This is obviously a candid shot.
Yes. There's no editing here. This is just what it's all about. So that's freehand. Let me try one. Let me try this one. Got to do some kind of finale. There. That's freehand.
Well, listen, we were talking about a second cousin or a first cousin of the yo-yo thing, and that's tops. Tops have got to be centuries old.
They are. They claim to be the second oldest toy, second only to dolls. I'm sure a lot of toys claim that, but I've heard it. So, and they in the States even they're much older than yo-yos. Yo-yos came to the States in 1929. 1925-ish, but Duncan started in 1929. And the way yo-yos came in, it was a fad. It was, boom, yo-yos. And tops had just been there, kind of like marbles. You just marbles. You play marbles, and there was a very similar game for tops and marbles. You draw a circle in the dirt, and somebody throws their top in, and other people try to get their top out or split it in half. I've heard a lot of guys tell that. Very popular still in Mexico in the same way, but only I don't know how recently, but it seems like there's just these people who have been doing tricks that are much farther beyond that than just throwing it into a circle, and it's slowly growing. There's a few in Mexico and there's a few in the States who can do tricks that are much more complicated than just throwing it in the dirt. You can see it has a little bump out or a little axle down there, and what that allows you to do is allows you to get it onto the string and do stuff with it. This would be a little merry-go-round trick. And actually, let me start with this one. Let me go to this one. This one has a bearing tip, and what this does, I have to unlock it first. What this bearing tip does is it gives you a lot more time to do these merry-go-round tricks and things. So the tip spins independently of the top, and that gives you more time to do that. That's crazy 8. Let's see if we can do like a gyro flop. So that's a bearing top, and that's fun. But as you can see, like once it runs out of spin, you're done. You just got to wind it up. With the yo-yo, you learn fairly quickly that you can do a flick and just get it wound back up. It's not super easy, but a lot easier than a top. It's just frustrating with the top. But once you learn, and more people are learning this, learn how to regenerate, it just becomes more like a yo-yo where you can just constantly play with it. Once you learn snap start and regenerations, you can see, I mean, I'm just going right back into playing with it. So after a few seconds, I've got spin and I can do tricks with it. There are 2 basic regenerations. This is drum beat. No, this is roller coaster. Then there's drum beat. It just has to do with the way I'm catching it, either under or over. And once you learn those 2, you can start doing some fancier regenerations like suns.
Look out.
Think you roll under the couch. Let's try barrel rolls. So I'm trying to make it look easy so that more people buy tops. And I just went and competed in nationals and worlds. Worlds first because it's before nationals. It's a long story, but it's basically just a side event at the yo-yo competitions. But in worlds, in August, I got second in the world, and in nationals, I got second again. And that wasn't my plan. I was planning for first, but I'll just have to do it again next year.
And where was that?
Nationals was in Chico, California, and worlds was in Orlando, Florida.
Excellent. Well, Chris, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes. I'm really looking forward to Tuesday and that whole event. And you know, you're a great architect. In fact, it's so fitting that you came here because you were the architect when we redid our offices here, and we've gotten so many compliments on your work here when you redid our office. I'm kind of jealous that you have two entire completely successful lives, and you can just turn them on and off as whatever you want to.
I try to. This is a fun job and fun to work for, Mr. Landwehr.
Well, we'll see you. We'll see you definitely next Tuesday afternoon. We'll invite everybody to come out once again Tuesday afternoon, downtown Book and Toy. Help celebrate the Duncan Yo-Yo Heritage Tour and our own celebrity Chris Neff. Chris, thanks.
Thank you.